he's right now joined the NFL, that is the National Football League in the US, joined Philadelphia Eagles through what is called the IPP, the International Player Pathway, because alikuwa Northampton in the UK, then of course through IPP amepata nafasi kuchezea Philadelphia Eagles. Please just tell us a bit of Joshua Weru. Who is Joshua Weru as a dad?
Well, what can I say? Joshua is my last born.
Yes.
No, huyo ndio mtoi kwa nyumba. I mean, you know the one you send where Joshua kimbilia hii na nini. Yeah, I think at some point in his life, his brother and I and his mother were all taller than him.
Yeah.
So we used to sort of sometimes tease him that, don't worry, you're still the shortest in the family.
Yeah.
I think akadecide sasa mtanijua. Yeah, and the man started growing.
Yeah.
And he's really an amazing, humble guy.
Yeah.
Extremely focused.
Yes.
And in a positive way, extremely stubborn. I don't know whether it's the Gen Z way or it's us, the way we talk to them or whatever.
Could be both ways.
Could be both. Yeah, or maybe we are the ones who are stubborn. You know? So even in this career or his journey, I mean, everyone has opinions. Having been involved in sports, I may think, you know, and we think by our limitations.
Yeah.
Mimi mahali nimeona maybe the biggest thing is Edward Rombo playing professional in Europe.
Yes.
In the UK.
Yeah.
So Joshua got there with Northampton Saints. And you say, bas, hapo ndio tumefika.
Yeah, that is the ceiling.
That's the level.
Yeah.
Little did I know he had other ideas. So he came and started telling me about American football, that you have to do this and that. And no, you're looking at him and wondering, what? Okay. And obviously because it's a path that you don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first thing to do na kwanza si ni Africa is to doubt.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes you say, do you really know what that place is? And you know, you start reading up. Thankfully kuna internet.
Yes.
So unasoma and you see the level of athleticism, the amount of competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
You imagine a country 350 million people. Kids are playing from high school to uni. I mean, the draft alone, that place that the draft had 800,000 fans.
Yes. And 267 athletes.
Yes. 200 about 300
about 300 athletes
who are being selected.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how big something like that is. They say the NFL is the biggest league in the world. And in terms of even money, you can put together the English League, Bundesliga or La Liga, and the amount of money that
I think it's the second most lucrative league
is it?
After IPL.
It was it topped a bit and then then the IPL.
Yeah.
But then you see IPL is a short version.
Yeah.
IPL goes only for a season kama sasa, you know, when they bring all those guys together alafu inaisha. NFL lasts pretty much throughout the whole year for the athletes. Yeah. So
aya, producer wangu anasema umetan sana. Hiyo ile ndio kamera.
Ile ndio kamera. Okay, sawa. Najua, okay, I was talking to you. Sinakwambia hizi vitu sijazoea.
Amesema usitan sana.
Okay.
But I like that Joshua started as a rugby player.
Yes.
At what point did he decide now he wants to go NFL way? The transition.
I think that transition happened after the disappointment of Northampton Saints and not getting a work permit. He still tried a couple of other options in France, in South Africa, and I think at that point, and all credit to him for his stubbornness, he went on and then decided, no, I think it was his secret actually. So he enrolled into university himself. And he said, I'm done with this athletics thing.
Yes.
I'm done with rugby. Wacha nirudi shule. So he found himself a college and enrolled and went to Arizona State University.
I
remember him telling me that he was hoping to get on to, they have something called like a run-on team. I saw Hilda when him to a JKUAT.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, Cougars, the rugby team of JKUAT.
Yes.
So there's a student who's been who's come to do whatever other course, but is an athlete and decides, let me try out for the team. So many athletes used to do that. So it's called a run-on team, that you go and just train with your college, and if they think you're good enough, then they absorb you. So they made the rules a bit stricter, so that they could have a more defined way of joining their particular pathway. Lucky for him, his agent had still been pushing, I think, after so many years, and just gave him a call and told him, yes, there's this international player pathway. It's run by NFL Africa. They even did a bit of it in Kenya. At the time, I think he was in the UK, so he was called for trials in around October. And there were 178 guys, mostly Nigerians. I think if you've looked, you've seen those. And kama selection vile inakuanga, I mean, it's very emotional. They were cut from 178
very
to
competitive.
13. Extremely competitive. If you look at the profiles of those athletes in basketball and soccer or whatever it is they were doing, they are really, really serious athletes. So I guess he went through that selection process. They were cut down to 13. Then they were put now in a camp because they've never played American football before. They were put in a camp for 1, conditioning, and then number 2, learning the game. So if you look at even those clips on Instagram and so on, you'll see wako kwa class wanaandika. It's pretty complex. American football has some, think of rugby with a 53-man squad. One squad that does defense, another one that attacks, and then they have another one called special teams. So they have a playbook that you need to learn, you know, and to know every move and so on and so forth. So I think it's a bit complex. So they had to go through that. Then at the end of the 10 weeks, then now they go for what they call, they had a showcase. So this is the place where all 32 NFL teams
the combine.
Yes, the combine. Where now they all the teams come, then all the new athletes. All the scouts. Then all the new athletes are put through tests. You're told physical tests, how much do you bench press, what is your broad jump, what is your standing jump. So the basic criteria is about judging your physical and athletic ability to be able to cope with the demands of the NFL.
Absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. And I'm just curious about him. What do you think makes him different, makes him unique? Because we've talked about pace as well, how quick he is, and then how big he is as well. Can you just tell us about, of course, his physical attributes and what makes him a good fit for the NFL to get that opportunity to play in the NFL?
Okay, like I said, I really know very little about American football, but at least in the last couple of months, I've just been reading up. The NFL looks for athleticism, how fast you are, or how strong you are. In a way, it's almost similar to rugby. So think of a prop. Who is our best prop in Kenya right now, or the front row, or who's the best second row? So it has a bit of that you want big guys because they push, but you also need speed. So when you think of Patrick Adongo, you think of Kinakolo and so on. So there are guys who they have their wingers called running backs and so on. So the same attributes are required. But the physicality is
lazima.
And it's way above that of rugby.
Absolutely. But now looking at Joshua's story joining NFL, of course NFL, the president of the US wanted it changed. Change Gina so that what they call soccer should be only the what's called football, really. But of course that will take time. If you look at his journey and his story, what does this tell us about Kenyan sports generally, the opportunities that and the talents that is there in different sports within the country?
Well, it tells us a very, very important thing. It tells us, number one, that talent is available, but it is raw. It is not developed at the right time. So how tall are you, Kwanya?
Ilikuwa 6.1.
6'1",
yeah, 6'1". You look like you hauna kitambi. You look like a sporty guy. So your physical attributes would suggest. Oh, Hilda, she looks like those, Eldoret Express kind of. So think of your build and think of someone then saying, okay, I want to be able to develop you from when you're young. One of the biggest things, and I write an article, so I wrote about it sometime. One of the biggest challenges, for example, for a young athlete is to be able to get core sporting skills. Being able to pass the ball, being able to jump, whether it's for volleyball, whether it's for hockey, whatever game it is, there's certain basic skills that everyone has to have. Unfortunately, we have not really done well in that level of development. You're seeing it now happening in rugby. Rugby has taken what I'd call like significant focus on development, but you've got to start developing all the way from primary school. If you look at Zimbabwe qualified for the World Cup. They beat us.
I read that article that you wrote.
But Zimbabwe have more or less the same system as ours, but they have a more elaborate one around sports. We focus, our primary focus has been on books. Think of Sebastian Sawe. How come he never ran in school? What did his parents, and I read his story and I said his parents told him soma kwanza wachana na hii mambo ya kurukaruka, right? Now, if we were able to develop those guys from age 10, 11, 12 and so on, would have great athletes, but unfortunately there are no professional opportunities, so the pathway is limited. So yes, okay, at some point utaulizwa na maadhi ama mzae, we, so hii rugby inakupeleka wapi? How much are they paying you, for example? Then now that money then now becomes an issue, but we are looking more at outcomes as opposed to the kind of inputs you put. So like in Zimbabwe they have something called Kotko Week for rugby. It's like a whole week. It happens, you've heard of Craven Week in South Africa. The closest we come to that is Kenya secondary school sports, term one games and term two. Same kind of thing. But there it's huge. It's the country comes to a standstill a whole week. Mukumu is playing sijui wa high school nini na nini, and that is where scouts come in and discover. Think of this Kibet boy who is playing
Aldrin Kibet.
Where was Aldrin discovered?
St. Anthony.
It's school games.
Yes,
it seems, by the way, something you've brought up very, very interesting, and you're not the first person to say it. It seems just for some reason in our structure, in our sports structure, in terms of talent or getting raw talent and new talent and young talent, it's the school games. For some reason it's working for football. That's where majority of the talents we get, we scout from, is that. And volleyball as well. Again, rugby as well. Kakamega High School. Most of the players when you see in their national teams, it's from Kakamega High School. So it seems that place is working, high school is working. I don't know, what do we need to refine it better in terms we continue with high school, or we try and tengeneza something, a better structure in terms of talent? I think
it's about our structure. There's a new sports act. What was that? There's a
the bill.
There's a sports bill.
Yes.
But that is really, so in terms of policy with the new sports bill, you will find that yes, we have the policies
there.
But then the missing gap is the execution. Even the sports policy talks about everything up to 18 years old. It doesn't tell you what happens at the cliff. After 18, then what happens? But for any player, sisa hizo ndio umeiva. Now is when you've left high school and you need to get into a development program that then, or a pathway that will then now lead you to, say, the national team, hockey, volleyball, and so on and so forth. So I think what's lacking is our ability to transition a lot of these players into into clubs, whether it's at a junior level, and focusing really on skill and skill development, because even in rugby and so on, I've been involved. one of our biggest challenges is the skill level.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are leaving school. They started playing rugby at 15. Yeah, maybe from 3. Yeah, you've missed out on 7 years. So certain basic things that you start having to learn when you're at national level. Yeah, you missed out. Other coaches are now dealing with tactics. They don't have to think of whether you can catch a wet ball or not. So I think to be able to, we need to be able to have a bridge that sort of refines players, so that we are not just looking for raw athletic upside, if I call it that.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I'm just curious now about Weru. Now he's there. He's now part of a team. He's gotten a team. More or less, it's in the development area, and then of course he has to work his way into the 53rd squad.
Yes, 53rd man.
Yes, he has to find a way into that main squad. So currently, what are his next steps?
Wow, to be honest, I don't know much. We've been chatting.
Yeah.
And right now it's resettling in or going to Philadelphia. So I think they are right now in that mix. There is a mini camp in May that begins in May. Where now they join the bigger squads. And if you are able to survive that camp, and I think a summer camp, then you get on to the 90-man team, then the 53-man team, then there's another thing called, 16-man team with a 17th man. To be honest, I'm just flying blind. Nikubahatisha ati internet inasema nini? Yeah.
Absolutely. Earlier on you mentioned that he has an agent.
Yes.
And many times when you, also in the Kenyan sports people, you rarely don't hear that they have agents handling their staff.
Yeah.
Or most of the time utapata ni mzazi ndio anamfanyia almost everything.
True.
I don't know what you think about the aspect of athletes, sports people having professional, not just agents, professional agents to handle their staff, things like contracts, things like that.
I think that is it should be something that is sort of like embedded even with federations.
Yeah.
I hear, like how all these, like soccer players, when they move from one club to another, see if there's those transfer fees, see the original club gets something.
Yes.
Yes. Now, the biggest challenge is that in terms of those contracts, I don't know what Kina Olunga's contracts and so on look like, but there are people who do that work. There are people who, know
what
how
to look for
and how to structure so that it benefits the individual. I think that's a gap that, if possible, whether it's through, say, Kenya Academy of Sports, like for young athletes, or a place where people can be taught that this is the typical contract, this is what it looks like, but you need an organization to be able to facilitate so that someone doesn't get the wrong agent and gets the right agent. So, to be honest, yes, unaona ni someone's father, someone's mother, and that's all well and good, but they are not professionals in that job. So it's more emotionally driven. It's not driven by fact, by logic, by knowledge. Ni huyu ni mtoi wangu. So you just say no to everything or yes to everything. So I think having an agent, because an agent typically, yes, they get paid, but they are also invested in your success, because the only way they'll get paid is if you get a good contract.
Your success will make them get paid.
Yes, and of course, Kenneth, of course, before now you became a dad to the next superstar as well. You on your own right.
Superstar.
You or your superstar on your right, exactly. Played club rugby, played for the national team, became a coach as well in rugby. Where did your passion for rugby begin?
Well, and there are many people who are going to fight, and I know because I sit in other... It started in Nairobi school.
Yes.
Yeah, and just watching rugby. I used to swim also, so, but rugby then now was like the national sport of the school. So I got really interested. There were very good systems in those days, in that we had if you are for Form 1s and Form 2s, you play what was called junior colts rugby. Form 3 and Form 4, maybe Form 5, you play senior colts, then you play second team and first team. So there was a clear defined structure. So I started off in junior colts. I played one game for senior colts, then I played another one for the second team. By the time I was getting to fourth form, it was the old system of 763, is it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like you guys didn't know anything about that. So okay, in the last century there used to be another education system. Yes. You would be in high school for 6 years. Yes. So you do 7 years primary, 6 years high school, 3 years.
We used to hear there was Form 6.
It's A-level.
A-level. Yes. Okay. So from Form 1 to 4 is almost like your formative years. So you're in the junior teams, and then you're picked from junior teams into senior teams, and then you're developed into. I was lucky enough to play for the first 15 of Nairobi School but that was 1980. You know Edward Rombo?
Yes.
Edward Rombo was our captain. He's the one who picked me. That was 1986. And I played first team for Nairobi School. Then I moved to Lenana for my A-levels, and I played first team there also. Interestingly enough, my most, I'd say, sort of success was in Lenana. So there's so there's a lot of history. Then actually around that time there was a bunch of us, you know, the CEO of KRU,
Thomas.
Yes, Tio.
Yes.
Tio. There's a guy called Martin Deda. There's a guy called Andrew Lopokoit, John Kagagi, Khalifa Hussein, George Awinyo, Eric Kibe. We were selected as Kenya under 19s in 1988. And it was a fantastic development thing. We were taken to the UK and we played sevens in a sevens tournament. So for me, I think that was a brilliant move in terms of opening our eyes and exposing us. Tulienda huko tukachapwa vizuri. But again, as fate would have it, when we came back, we had a lot of support from guys like Dennis Awori, who was chairman of rugby at that time, Toyota Kenya. They even put us in a van and helped us play. So as a combined school side, we used to play like the 7th circuit. So a lot of us developed. Then from there, we all became coaches, or we played first team and so on and so forth. So the beauty of that was that that system allowed you to get refined along the way, such that by the time you are aspiring to play for national team, for lack of a better term, mtu anakuwa ameiva. You know, you have basic ball handling skills, you can tackle, you can pass, you can kick, and so on and so forth. Something happened that, depending on how you look at it, I mean, I think it was a good thing. So rugby exploded across the country. And with that huge growth, the growth sort of overtook the development system that would have been able to help it. So more and more players were getting interested in rugby and so on, but they were not, and we still don't have enough quality coaches at that level. And that school level, which so we end up getting a lot of raw athletes. You remember Kina Bufa and all those guys, they all came through that school system. And the challenge is, if we can be able to get that coaching system, and there are many of them who are level 1 coaches and so on, but it's one thing to talk about having those guys there and to see what the outcomes are. The outcomes are Kenya Simbas and Shujaa. So really, in order to evaluate our pipeline, then you look at the outcome. But then now, if it's not as good as we want, then we have to go back and start saying, what is it that we are doing wrong? I'm personally involved with Harlequins and try and help and volunteer here and there. And I can see some of the struggles that we have, that you get very many raw players, but very many raw players with expectations. Kila mtu anataka do. And they think that, this is the stage, and yes, why not? However, whether it's the kind of sponsorship we're able to generate as clubs or as the union, not being able to match the real needs we have for development, we really have to rethink our development pathway and what kind of money is put there. Because then that's how then the Shujaa will be playing first division. Simbas will be in the World Cup instead of Zimbabwe. So that's actually where we really need to fix our rugby. Then the outcomes, there'll be many more Joshuas and I mean, you saw Patiko Dongo was signed by, what are they called? I know Yoko has just been signed for Hyderabad again for
this
season. Patiko Dongo. So we need to have, those are only two guys. They are outstanding athletes, and one thing you will see, is that they are really amazing athletes. Those guys can play American football, in my view. Ugandans, even you remember Wokorach, he's also been selected to one of those teams. So we need to get more guys there and earning at least a decent amount of money. It's about development.
Can you say that now that let's talk about the sport that you play, that is rugby. Can you say that we are at the professional level at the moment?
What do you mean we are at the professional level? Let me understand your question.
Well, where players can get decent living out of it, there's money circulating in it, the coaches, the players, the referees are properly paid.
I don't think we are.
And even the level of the sport.
And even the level of the sport. I really don't think we are there in terms of professionalism, because we still have, for example, our league is dominated by community clubs. When I say community clubs, I don't mean just Moamba, Harlequins, Nondis, Nakuru. I'm talking about universities. They are also institutional sides, but they're almost community sides. And based on that, in terms of like how people prepare and so on and so forth, I don't think we are at that level where we are semi-pro, let's say. But even semi-pro then would be flattering, because then you say, okay, if you're semi-pro, what are the outcomes? How many professional players do you have? You can only say Yoko and Patrick Kadongo playing in that Indian league.
Rugby Premier League,
So who else plays rugby in India? So yes, it's like a showcase, but we are on top of the world, we can compete with the best in sevens. But the real contracts are in 15s. How many professional players do we have playing 15s? Because then that then tells you the state of our rugby.
And you've brought something up very interesting. This has been a debate for a while. The sevens, the 15s. For some reason, we've seen a lot of countries they're cutting down in terms of sevens. And I'm curious to pick your brain. Do you think that in the next few years, let's say in the next 5 years, do you think the sevens will still be there? Or now people are focusing now, or countries are now focusing more in the 15s?
Okay. And just let me try and sort of like correct maybe a misconception.
Yes.
Sevens is the side sport. Sevens is a TV sport. Anywhere outside Africa, sevens, if look at the New Zealand sides and so on. When this guy was coaching, Gordon Tietjens, he used to complain that he could never have the same side every year. Why? Because the 15s guys who have bigger contracts and bigger money, they are blooded in sevens. Huko ndio wanapiga tizi. You are told, just try them out, see how they hold up, while everyone is watching you. So sevens is the showcase, 15s is the main dish. So sevens will be there. It's attractive, it's fast, it's easy to understand. But 15s is truly the game, and you've got to build for 15s. The challenge with 15s is that it requires you to put some resources. I remember back in our days, to send, think of it this way, to send a 30-man squad to Uganda. Or how many people are on a sevens team? 12? 12 players, 3 officials. So a team of 15, you can send them almost anywhere in the world. Hiyo kuchanga hiyo pesa si ndogo. And you can get them out there. But if you have to go travel with a squad of 30, how much would you have to invest in them? So you need to find the sponsorship to be able to get those guys out there, or people coming in. So it's about relooking how we are investing, because Sevens gets our name out.
Yeah.
But like you saw with Joshua, and Joshua not getting a work permit because he had only played for Kenya for 3 times. The British government said no, anyone playing has to have 10 caps. So what does it get back to? It's 15. So no one recognizes 7 caps. Hata Yokohama nini wakienda UK or Europe to apply for whatever.
Yeah.
It would be difficult if they haven't played 15s rugby.
Yeah.
So from a developmental point of view, what would any one of you do if I want to get as many pro players out? It's you've got to bite the bullet. You've got to get our 15s to a certain standard. So that hata watu wacheze hata hapa SA, forget about Europe. Whether it's getting into varsity cup, forget even the big franchises, the Super Rugby franchises, the old Stormers, Sharks. You know, and Stormers and Sharks already have collaboration with KCB, and a lot of Kenya Rugby, even Jerome Pawota was here and so on. So we have that collaboration. And we can use that collaboration to get more of our players outside and playing in their leagues at a higher level, and they can come back. Then the Simbas will really be competing.
The national team.
But if kama ni hapa hii ati tunangoja tu Kabras na nini na KCB kwa final. Although the things are changing. I'm happy one you there. I couldn't believe. I mean KU in the semis.
Yes.
But to me that's one of the biggest developmental sides, and I mean I hear they have 3 teams. That's the right place, I think, to go in order to be able to develop those guys. Nondi's also made it to the semis, so kudos to them. I'm happy because I'm a community club guy, so I know that Nondi's at least have knocked on the door. I'm sure by next year Harlequins tutakuwa huko ndani pia. Taomba Mungu wetu.
Is Anmomba back?
Yes, and you see even Kulabu is back, so yes, there's a lot of heritage. I was so happy. I was talking to actually an old Mwamba guy yesterday, a former chairman called Mwangi Mothe. So I was asking, Mwangi, he was extremely excited. I was seeing videos. Mwamba is the oldest black club in Kenya. So it's great, so
for them to be back. Let's change gears kidogo and talk about ADAC, because you are once a board member at the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, and because it's very important to talk about this issue of doping, because it has affected Kenyan sports, more so athletics. I don't know, during your time when you are there, because right now maybe you might not have you might not speak
have the inside
story, but when you are there, what were the challenges that you saw that every now and then you hear World Athletics or World Anti-Athletics Integrity Unit
Athletics Integrity Unit
as banned as suspended Kenyan athlete? What are these issues that used to come up every now and then?
Well, one of the biggest challenges that ADAC faces is funding, especially for tests. So I can't, if I remember right, in fact Sebastian Sawa is the best example. He had to be sponsored. He did 25 out of competition tests. What's the average cost of a test? Has anyone checked? It's probably $200-300. Who pays for that? Who bears the cost? One of the limitations I believe in ADAC, and one of the things I know they've been fighting for, is to have a bigger allocation to be able to spread the word more, because it's more about education. And ADAC they've got a huge and very well elaborate education outreach. I remember even when I was there, I'm a certified, I got a certificate. On their website you'd be able to sign up for even a course as a coach or as an athlete, so that you're able to know that yes, these are the anti-doping rules. Every year you have a booklet that says yes, these are the new these are the banned substances, and it's to be able to go back to the youth, which is where ADAC usually plays with younger athletes in schools and so on, educating them about the dangers of doping. Because obviously, I mean, simuliona ile pesa sawa yalipewa. How many kids in all over the country are saying that could be me? And you will find unscrupulous guys who are going to take advantage of these young guys and say, don't worry, I'll pay your air ticket. In fact, kunywa hii katembe, maybe it will cut you 1-2 seconds and so on. So, because it's so competitive, I mean, I went during that time and even after. Have you ever been to Iten at 4 a.m.? That when they do that, is it Thursday or Tuesday run?
Yeah, I've been there, but in the camp bado. But I've been there.
Yeah, I mean, if you see those guys there, it's madness. So we've got talent. And obviously with that level of competition, someone will always try and take a shortcut. So if there was a way that government could be able to increase funding to like ADAC, or open the door to partnerships with private organizations who have synergies or who have interests in Kenyan athletes doing well. Again, whether it's KAAA or under NOC, because many of these things have sort of like cross-cutting roles. But the key thing is to be able, number one, to get funding to be able to conduct outreach and education. The second thing is to be able to do tests. There's a time I think we didn't have enough money to do every athlete before, say like what this year there's world championships, right?
No,
it's
this
world. There's team world.
There's the Commonwealth and the World Ultimate, the new one, the new event.
The new one.
Yes,
with relay guys and so on. You need to take you have to have a certain number of tests done prior the competition. But once you get into that even elite space, there's something they call whereabouts. You've heard of whereabouts tests and so on, and you're on this huge ERP and you say where you are. So someone comes, knocks at your door and tells you, I need to take a urine sample now. So one is to be able, first of all, to educate, because it's cheaper to educate than to test. So if you then now reduce your risk from that level, then at the testing point you're talking about knowledgeable people and so on. Na unajua watu ni wakora anywhere in the world, someone will always try and cut a corner. So the challenge for ADAC sometimes is to stop being seen as a policeman, but to be seen as the person, the people who aid the athletes to be able to win clean and earn good money from it. And
it's been because I think if this year we've spoken like about 6 or 5 athletes who have been suspended or banned for 3 or 4 years because of doping issues. And I don't let me sticking with this doping, and because I think maybe this could be a bit related. This year we are going to have enhanced games that has launched. This is going to be their first edition. I don't know what, as a sportsman, I don't know what to think about enhanced games.
There's a friend of mine called OJ, my classmate. We played rugby as my vice captain. He is very in tune with those things. Kwa yeye ni mtu wa chuma. Although ni mzee. And we had a debate on our WhatsApp group.
Yes.
So these are humans.
Yes.
Who want to take substances to enhance their performance.
Yes.
But under control. There's controls.
Under FDA approvals.
Yes.
Okay. So FDA has approved mukunywange dawa. So watu wale wa dawa munataka sasa sports zenyu. You know. So even in the grand scheme of things, if you think of how many athletes are there in the world, and how many athletes are how many athletes have access to those performance enhancing whatever, whether it's
drugs or
forms of creatine or and so on, and so tutakuwa na competition. It's like, what would you call it? I don't know, I'm trying to think of an analogy. But yes, they can have their competition. I believe it's their right.
Yes.
But they are the exception rather than the rule. Why are we clapping about exceptions? Shouldn't we focus on the rule? So they've made a lot of noise, because what is their market? Typically, they want to show you, because ultimately simeona the Adidas shoe of Sawes was at $500 when he won. Sold out. It came back after 2-3 days at $1,500. They're not selling drugs. See, they're selling just shoes. So ultimately the sport also drives another commercial focus that yes, kit will go and people will stay healthy and so on and so forth. So what are those guys going to promote? Performance enhancing drugs? So to me, yes, they have their right, but even science has proved that performance enhancing drugs in the long term, whether it's your kidneys, whether it's your liver and so on, that's not the way your body was built. So I especially from my background in ADAC and knowing what you imagine, a guy from LD who has been Nyahururu, who has been running and sweating and doing all the right things, na mwingine anakunywa tembe and can run as fast as him. Is that fair?
It's not. Yes, and just I'm very curious in terms of the inroads now we've made. You are in ADAC, and of course currently as Kwanya said, we are still getting athletes getting caught in terms of getting banned and whatever. Do you think we have made progress?
I think we've made a lot of progress because first of all, there's a lot of transparency, and through ADAC I think even if you watu wale wanataka kuangalia vitu za kiherehere, just go to the ADAC website. You see everyone who has been banned.
I'm there.
It's there.
There is a sanctioned athletes, provisionally suspended athletes, and criminal cases.
So basically, if you take performance enhancing drugs, that's a criminal offense. But even leave that aside, what are we telling our young guys? That we can cheat? So yes, we lack the infrastructure to be able to grow certain pipelines, especially in team sports. That's why individual sports excel. But competition will get to a point where it's who has the best drug. We want to be able to find the best athlete without who is drug free. But then again, just more to your question, I think doping is really not a problem as much. Again, and this is pretty controversial. I remember us having issues where there are journalists from other countries who come and even storm ADAC offices and say, you guys are the ones who are perpetuating this. And there's sort of like a narrative that was being perpetuated that yes, all Kenyan guys are dopers. Why? Because your performance is outstanding. People cannot believe. So if you remember again, think of this last London Marathon. The top 3 guys broke that time. So okay, how much testing will you do? Because even before they confirmed the results, see, you do out of competition immediately after that race.
After the race,
kuna mtu akona ka kikombe anakuambia you need to take a sample. And they were found clean. So I mean, Sebastian Sawe was even sponsored for his 25 out of competition tests.
By
Adidas. So what were they trying to say? They don't sponsor testing for anyone else. They are saying that we are able to produce athletes that do not need that performance enhancement. But again, how do we help the likes of ADAC, say for example through the media, by either bringing them here and telling them, hey, you guys, you need to tell the story to the rest of Kenya. So we need support from people like you to be able to keep our athletes clean and send the message out there that hii kitu utafungwa, or you're not only spoiling for yourself, you'll get a 3-4 year ban. You're a 25-year-old.
By the time naisha absolutely. Naona time imesonga sana because we only have 4 minutes to 12 noon. But before we let KT go, I just wanted to pick your minds in regards to the role the parents can play in helping nurture a talent in a child. Because many times, I think for you maybe you came from a generation where mzazi alikuwa atakwambia lazima upite chemistry, lazima upite mathematics, but sahi utapata this like Joshua Weru, talented, right? What do you think is the role that parents can play to help these children nurture their talent and also not achana na masomo pia at the end of the day? Yeah.
Well, I think and for many athletes education is very, very core.
Yeah.
But for me, the way I look at it, I look at it as a transfer of skills. So you have a 5-year-old. You tell them, basi pepeta hii ball, you have to pepeta 100 times. Then, because Messi, or if you want to be Messi, you've got to be able to do 1, 2, 3 things.
Yeah.
That's what the child likes, right? They don't like reading. Yeah. So how do you get them into the habit of understanding? First of all, there's winning and losing. And number 2, there's sacrifice. Number 3, there's effort, there's practice. The easiest thing is when they're doing fun things, whether it is swimming, whether it is chess, whether it is whatever.
Yeah.
And that becomes a discipline that is transferable into school. Yeah. And you say, hey, okay, you know what? For you to pass or for you to score a goal, what do you need? I need to practice this. So for you to pass, that means that you have to read 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
Yeah.
So it's a transferable discipline.
Yeah.
And the key thing is to be able then, as parents, to be able to then invest in those children and in their interests and know that you are investing for life, because you are investing in that person's discipline, that person's understanding and application. They can see, I was able to score, but I practiced 3 times.
Yeah.
If I practiced 4 times, I'd even do better.
Yeah.
So if this book hata kama inakataa, if I read 2, 3 times, I would get a good grade and it would get me a scholarship, or it would. So you've got to be very clear as to the way, say, books go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Given that employment opportunities in the book space are that limited. I was telling a parent yesterday, so yes, you're all in ligi ndogo, your kids are playing, but kuna mwingine mnono, kuna mwingine nini. We have different skills.
Yeah.
Why don't those coaches make those kids analysts or commentators? So kila club iko na Hilda Chepto of sijui what club, Kwanya of this club. And so because around sports there's so many other things that are happening,
not just play.
Yes.
And
not all
of us can't be athletes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe my challenge is to you guys and say there are pathways here, but you guys know sport. Yeah. How did you know sport? You probably participated and spent time.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Absolutely. All right, I think that's the best place to leave, but just be your last word as tukimalizia. Give us a word of inspiration, because this is Thursday TBT. Leave us with some great words of inspiration.
And maybe
as
just tell us, since
it's
TBT, I'm very curious, your most memorable game of rugby, either in club level or for the national team.
Absolutely.
A game either you won or you lost, or it has stick with you until now.
Okay, one is a funny one. We were in Tunisia. Shujaa, we needed to lose by 20 points or less in order to qualify for the repechage. So we were pumped, we were ready. We lost that game by 30 points. And it was a total mess. It was kulikuwa na mablanda. At the end of the game, I remember guys like Pablo, who are on the wing, were screaming on one side, and we were wearing blue shirts. Those guys were wearing white. On the left was our team doctor, who was also wearing a blue shirt. I was playing fly half. He started screaming for the ball. Sikila mtu ameangalia hivi. Mi ndio mjanja. I've seen a blue shirt from the corner of the eye. 2 minutes to the end, I passed the ball to the touch judge. It was one of the most embarrassing moments. Watu walinichekelea tukazima hiyo story. A few guys remember. So that was
that is funny.
The other one was Kenya Harlequins 1999 Enterprise final. And that's where we always Enterprise final. Kenya Harlequins always do amazing things. We are down, I think, by Machine had scored against us. We were playing Machine in the final. They scored against us. The last kick of the day. We kicked off into Machine. Toti, Felix Ochieng ran, caught that ball, tapped it down, scrum half to Mekimbiza. We scored from the kickoff.
Yeah.
A guy called Nanda, a second row also. So, and we beat Machine at the death.
Yeah.
We call it at Harlequins, Malaria Queen. That is, even all of us were sick. We did not know. I mean, it was a very exciting game. I'll never forget that game.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much, KT, for finding time to come and speak to us. Tukikuita tena jameni, urudi tena.
Sawa.
Yes.
That has been our conversation with Ken Thimba, aka KT, helping us talk about the state of rugby.